Well, hi, I'm Rebecca Fuller, the instructor and expert of the LearnFluteOnline.com learning programs. And today, in this video, we will explore everything you need to be aware of and what to know when renting a flute. Now, it's great to have you here learning how to play the flute. When the decision arrives and to decide between renting and purchasing a flute, there are definitely a few things to think about. Renting a flute is always a good idea if you're helping a youngster explore a different hobby possibilities in their life and you're not exactly sure if they're going to stick with it or not. But then again, owning your own instrument usually helps with that commitment process. Well, nevertheless, there are definitely times when renting a flute is the right choice for you, and you'll want to have a bit of knowledge before you make that first phone call. And no worries, I'm here for you. Here are some very important details that you need to know about when renting a flute. Now, when you first call or visit a store that offers instrument rentals, you'll be asked if you're looking to rent a student model or an intermediate model or an advanced model of a flute. The first thing you need to know. Now, if you're on a higher level than a beginner, you'll want to own your flute and not rent it. And there are reasons, but in this video, let's just stick to renting a student model flute, which is the basic beginner level flute and the most common level of flute to rent. Now, know first of all that stores cannot and do not carry every model and every brand and make of flute. Now, if you have a certain model in mind, you may very well be disappointed if you ask for it. Now, most stores have contracts with certain companies, and so those are the only brands that they will carry. They could order you something, though. Now, if you're looking for something specific and they don't have it, be prepared to go somewhere else and do some shopping. You'll receive usually a few choices, and unless you already know how to play the flute, you're kind of at the mercy of the salesperson as to which brand would be right for you, if you don't know how to play, to even know if it's in a good shape. Now, you can ask if they have any other brands or models that might come into their store in the future, but otherwise, you'll be offered what they have in stock. And if you call at the beginning of the traditional school year, say in the beginning of August or so, they'll be usually running pretty low on choices since it's kind of common for bands to rent lots of flutes at a time. Now, you'll usually be offered to rent a used flute, also used, because the salesman will know that you might possibly be drawn to a lower monthly price. But beware though, used flutes many times come with a lot of problems because they've been handled by someone else for a year, a beginner for a whole year, and sometimes a beginner who may not have any idea how to take care of it. You have no idea what shape it's in and what's been done to it. So you have to be aware of that. Now, some businesses do have really great flute technicians who can put the instrument back into really great shape after they receive it back from being rented, but many don't. So when you rent a used flute, you're kind of stuck with that exact instrument for the duration of your rental contract, whether it's a lemon or not. Yeah, I called around to a few businesses that rent flutes so that I could get a current idea of what's happening in the rental world. I called businesses on both ends of the United States and also here in my home state. Now, some of the information that I received varied, but let me give you kind of a general lowdown on what I was told. This will save you a lot of time. Now, first of all, let me say that I called inquiring about renting a flute for myself, an adult, for some of these places, and one of the place just assumed I was calling for a child, so they immediately gave me a band package price, and then they told me that that band package price was not available for adults. Well, that was interesting and really good for me to learn about as well. Now, the conversation that I just had today went something like this. I said, "Hi, I'm an adult looking to rent a flute. Can you give me the information I need?" And usually the reply was, "Sure, what do you want to know?" I thought this was kind of funny to me because if someone is renting a student model flute, one can assume that probably I don't know hardly anything. That's what I would assume. But anyway, I had to move on with lots of questions. And my next question was something like, well, how much does it cost to rent a flute? I would then be told that I could choose from a used flute for a lower price or a new flute, and that the full price of the instrument with tax, the full retail list price, would then be divided up into usually about 18 months, and that's how they get their cost that you pay per month. Well, okay, sounds great. Well, what kind of agreement do I have to sign to rent a flute? That was my next question. And the answer's been pretty consistent to this. It's a full-blown contract that has to be filled out and signed. The information that you have to fill out includes your social security number, your income information, how much money you make, your driver's license number, and usually 2 non-family contacts who can vouch for you in case you disappear with the rented instrument. So basically know that this agreement is lawfully binding and you must pay, and the credit department is tied to the contract. So once you decide to rent, you are bound by the duration of that whole contract on that exact instrument. Now, what I mean is the money paid towards the rental flute is, as I mentioned before, only paid towards the exact instrument, the flute that you have rented. So if partway or halfway through the contract period you decide that you want a different brand of flute, maybe that one's just not doing it for you, or perhaps a step-up model, something a little better, it's probably not possible. But you can be sure to ask the company about this when you talk to them, because you've rented that exact instrument and all of the money that you have already paid only goes towards that instrument. So if you switch, you have to start over on your contract. Now, another important part of my calls was when I asked about the warranties on the instrument. Now, I know that some businesses work that right into their contract so that you feel at ease about your choice, but several of the places I talked to, and the one I talked to today, for example, told me point blank that this is what he said: all instrument problems, especially with flutes, are operator error, operator caused, and they don't fix them for free at all. That was interesting to me. Anyway, make sure you think about these things and ask these questions. Now, there is something that you can remember to ask for, and that is something called a renter's protection package. Now, this may add to your monthly bottom line, but it may just save your bacon as well, because if your flute is broken, lost, or even stolen, it happens, then it should be covered by the protection package that you purchased. So think about that. Now, it's a lot like when you rent maybe skis at the local ski resort. That's where I live, in the snow areas. They get you on the low monthly cost of the package and then tell you kind of, by the way, that if you break them, then you have to pay for the whole thing right then, unless you purchase the insurance. Well, I guess that's just how it goes. So ask about the insurance and the protection packages. It may very well be worth it. So when does it make sense to rent, or should you buy? That's a good question. Here are some things that you can consider. If you are brand new and not sure that you're even going to stick with it, that's something to think about. If you can get a short rental contract. Now, I happen to know that the investment you make in your education usually determines if you will stick with it or not, though. So think about that. It's kind of how we humans seem to operate. Also, if you do a little looking around, you can notice that the price they've given you for the flute is at the full retail price. Yikes. There is no discount on it when you rent a flute, or if you rent to own. And if you just do a little online shopping to notice that the $800 price tag that they've put on your student model flute is actually just a $300 flute when purchased online. Yeah, it's true. So think about that and make sure you do your homework. Now, I'm not telling you to never purchase from a physical store or business. I love supporting local stores, especially. I'm just saying, do your homework. Student model flutes vary quite a bit, and there are a lot of brands out there nowadays in a very wide range of quality and price. Now, the higher level and quality of the flute, the more consistent that you'll see the prices. The student model ones down on the lower end will be kind of here and there, but the highest level flutes never seem to change price no matter where you get them, unless it's from an individual owner selling it as their used flute directly to you. Now, let me make sure that you know one important detail here on this subject, and that's that an instrument being sold through a physical store or business almost always has been thoroughly combed through by a technician who is supposed to make sure that it's in primo condition as it can get, the best it can get, the best that they know how to get it. And an instrument just ordered off the internet kind of has no guarantee of that unless you can call the exact company and find out if a technician has seen the flute. So I'm here to tell you that there is a difference between an instrument that has been thoroughly checked over and fine-tuned by a tech, and one that is freshly stamped out of a factory, boxed, and shipped. They are different, even if they're the same brand, model, and make. It's interesting, huh? Yep, we're learning here. So my final summary here. Number 1, consider buying before renting. Your educational investment will have more weight in the long run. That shiny brand new flute will be yours, and if you make sure that you get the proper education, it'll last you many, many, many super happy years. Now, number 2, do your homework. Ask a lot of questions and don't sign a contract until you feel comfortable that you understand the details. Ask the business if they ever have a rental sale. Many drop their prices at the beginning of the school year. So also, the price difference could be if you were renting as a child or an adult. Things to think about and questions to ask. And number 3, come to learnfluteonline.com and get started right. You'll find the information in the membership area. Really easy to understand, simple to follow, super convenient, and everything you need to be informative and have a lot of fun. It's the information that I desperately needed many years ago when I was new, and now I've made it available online to you. You can even get started for free with several lessons that will ensure that your flute will stay safe, in good condition, and that you have the right concepts that will get you playing quickly, which makes it a lot more fun. Well, I'm Rebecca Fuller, thanking you for being here. Go ahead and subscribe, and let's make sure that you get all of the information that you need to make playing the flute a really fun lifetime hobby. We'll see you later.